shoulders, I love telling people to open up the front of their chest and stabilize the backs of their shoulders because that part of our body tends to actually get overstretched. But this is for the folks that truly need stretches in their shoulders. So if you have a strap or a scarf, belt, anything long is going to do it. Go ahead, grab that. You don't need a blanket or a towel, but I'm going to show you a fun trick, so maybe you want one. But we're going to get started in a child's pose. So that means we're having a seat back on our heels, our foreheads down to the ground, and we're just reaching our hands forward. It's a nice way to start opening up the shoulders. So you could, if your seat doesn't want to go down towards your heels, you could always take your blanket towel and give yourself a little assist. But right now, we're just focusing on opening up our shoulders and your lower back. It's a nice release here too. Heads down, so our neck doesn't have to do any work holding it up. And some ways you can explore. Planting your hands or pressing your palms together, sort of making a shark fin over your head. Bringing hands down. Then we're going to come up to tabletop. I'll always have you do some cats and cows when we're transitioning, but especially for the shoulders. So the inhale lift and the draw of your shoulders back, what we call our cow pose, gets that front opening that I talked about. When you exhale, come into your cat, tuck your chin, you're starting to open between your shoulder blades again. So for the folks that are tight between their blades, taking a longer exhale, really bringing belly button to spine and tucking the chin is going to give you all this wonderful space. So after you've taken a few and you've loosened up your spine, you can go ahead and bring it to neutral. We're going to take our right hand, reach it up skyward, and then we're going to bring it underneath and we're going to thread our needle. So your right temple comes down and you've got all these wonderful options here. You could just be hanging out, letting your right hand relax. Something I see really common is people holding their hand up. Let your right arm relax. Your left hand could stay here. You could reach it to the front. I like that because it provides some nice opening in the left shoulder as well. Or you could take a half bind. That's where you nestle the back of your hand sort of along your right hip. Again, that would open up the front of the chest. So we're tapping into both shoulders quite nicely. You could also sit back on your heels, make it a child's pose threaded needle. So there are your options, and here's my cool trick. If you're like, yeah, this pose feels good, but I might need a little bit more, your blanket towel under your head, so your head's up a little higher, is going to give you more room to get a little deeper into your shoulder, more space to drop it out and dial up the intensity. So there's a nice option. All right, let's bring our left hand underneath. Inhale our right hand up. Go ahead, set it down. And what we do on one, we do on the other side. So you, of course, take a counter here, big reach. I kind of went a little fast there. Put that hand down. Left comes up. We thread. Remember, you've got options from reaching right hand to half binding to making it more of a child's pose if it doesn't feel so good to be up on your knees, or towel under head. So many great options. It's a wonderful pose to hold. You get a little neck stretch along the way. And then we'll press our right hand in. Inhale, left up. Take that nice big reach. We're going to set the hand down. A little cat-cow to rinse. Here, you might want to focus a little bit on the cow, the open chest, just because it's such a nice counter to that big opening we got in the backs of our shoulders. All right, let's bring it to neutral. Head onto our seat. Grab our strap or our strap sub And we call it shoulder flossing, and it just feels so good, and it gives you great mobility, and it just brings this wonderful sort of heat to your shoulders. So we start hands out long, and we're just bringing the strap behind and in front. Behind and in front. You can get really wide, give yourself some more space if your shoulders are tight. Could always get a little closer together. I can't. I just don't have that kind of shoulder rotation. And we really want to feel some heat in our shoulders. And then we can bring it up. Hold. This is one of my favorites. Left arm long, right elbow bent. Up you go. And off to the side. Now, this would be giving you that little bit of squeeze between your shoulders. And we had talked about the folks who need release there. But why I would recommend this is that these movements are building up heat. And anyone that's had an injury and has used a heat pad or has had tightness and has used a heat pad, you know that heat is a really great way to get release. So there are some moves for the shoulders. If you have any questions, of course, please drop them in the comments. I love to talk about yoga. I will reply. And don't forget to subscribe.